cosmic waters are bringing life into the planet, are coming into the planet with all the information, cosmic information. And it's interesting that this is all being discovered or uncovered in these times when we are really, really entering the era of Aquarius, and Aquarius is the carrier of those cosmic waters. Hello, Anita. So happy to have a new conversation with you today. And today we're going to talk about the first trimester, from conception, and the whole first trimester. And this is one of many videos about this part of pregnancy. There's so much to talk about. And the element is water. And yes, we are made out of 75% of water, 98.8% of the molecules of our body, or 99.8% of the molecules of our body are water. So water is the carrier of life. Water is so important. So yeah.
Thinking about how in tarot, the cups represent water, and it represents emotions, energy and motion. And I started thinking about how water amplifies frequencies like sound, and sound travels through water faster than air. So if the sound waves travel through water more quickly than air, then I think the frequency and energies of emotion, thought, must also travel faster through the water. And maybe that's why we get so many downloads in the shower, in the bathtub, or by bodies of water. And I started doing a little research on how water is a medium between the physical and the spiritual world. So, and it says static electricity increases when salt is added to water because of the ions in the water, which is more conducive to carrying spiritual energy.
Yes, absolutely. And you made a big point there, because there's cosmic waters and life in general. We know it comes from the ocean. All the life on the planet comes from the ocean, which is water, which is, for me, the womb of the planet Earth. But also we are talking lately about cosmic waters and how cosmic waters are bringing life into the planet, are coming into the planet with all the information, cosmic information. And it's interesting that this is all being discovered or uncovered in these times when we are really, really entering the era of Aquarius, and Aquarius is the carrier of those cosmic waters. Very interesting how everything is coming together. I'm so glad you mentioned this point.
Yeah, it's so fascinating to me because I get a lot of downloads in the shower, or if I'm by the river, and then also doing tarot just really got me thinking about the energetic connection of that, and how water is life. It is creation, and all the cells in our body are made of water predominantly, and how we can direct or command the waters of our body with our thoughts and our emotions.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I was just thinking about how pregnant women love to, I do water release therapy, meaning you're floating in one warm water and I'm holding you and moving you around at a certain rhythm, going with the flow. And when you are in the water, you lose connection with gravity and time, because time and gravity are going together. So when you're floating in warm waters, you disconnect from time, gravity, and on one aspect of it. So it becomes more like you can go in more of a void or cosmic space, and also a lot of memories come back
Mm.
because, like you said, everything we give to the water, every thought, every emotion is traveling, but it's like water keeps that information. So when we are floating in the water, it's very easy to reconnect with all the memories we have, and then we can cleanse. We can cleanse, we can heal the traumas, the stories that won't support us during pregnancy or birth. And yeah, it's amazing how, water is the womb. The water is behind everything.
Do you think that our emotions or our state of emotions when trying to conceive can affect the waters of the womb?
Well, emotions and thought emotion, for me, it goes together.
Mhm.
Absolutely affects every cell of our body in general, you know. So of course it has an impact, and it's a really important point when you are deciding to conceive, to be clear and to be really in a space of joy, because
Mhm.
joy, if you think about emotions, look at this. When you feel joy, when you feel love, it's like you're opening every cell of your body. You're opening every door in yourself, right?
Mhm.
When you feel fear, what's the role of the fear? Is to close the door.
Right.
Yeah, to protect you. Fear has a reason to be, is there to protect you. So if there is fear, you close the door. And we have fears like it's such an, again, thank you for mentioning that, because there's like unconscious, subconscious thoughts around pregnancy or having a baby that we carry from, lineage. And we can talk more about different types of traumas afterwards. But if there is a belief system, memories, traumas, any kind of thing like that, we are going to close the door. The first trimester of pregnancy is all about the past, all about healing the past if you get pregnant. So if you don't get pregnant, it may be that the door is closed because of some fears that you don't know about. So we can find out. That is one reason. It's not, there's other reasons why you may not get pregnant, but this could be a big one to work on. And before conception, you can work on your personal traumas and stories and clear a lot of that. There's many modalities to help you with that. When I started working with pregnancy, I was using rebirthing because I was trained as a rebirther, and I started working with women, and then I realized how important birth trauma and your own stories and memories and cell memories could be on the way. So I was doing a lot of rebirthing with pregnant women. And but there's many modalities, you
Could
know.
you give a brief explanation of what rebirthing is for our viewers that may not know what it is?
Of course, thank you. So reversing is a modality that uses the breath, and it's very similar to the fire breath that we use in yoga and other methods. So basically, what happens is that type of breath awakens the cells that were dormant, because when we have a trauma, what happens is that it goes somewhere in your body and it's like hiding in there. And you can even think that, you may have parts of your body that are either stiff or cold. So
Mm.
basically, the memory of the trauma is holding, it's a holding. So it's holding somewhere in your body, it's kind of like hiding. So rebirthing is one way to get into that because the fire breath activates, it's fast, it creates fire, it starts activated all the cells of your body, and it can awake cells that were dormant, that were part of what was holding, where you were holding that trauma.
Mm.
So as you activate those cells again, you bring them back to life, whatever is hiding in there comes back comes back to the surface, but it comes back to the surface to leave, to go. So when you do a rebirthing session, you may have memories coming back. You may even have, like I remember a lot of people were having memories of birth, and they would have the smell of anesthesia if they had anesthesia, because it was in your body, it was kept in your body somewhere. So with this breathing, it was coming up to the surface and leaving. So it's quite amazing. I mean, all the senses are, you can have images, you can have smells, you can have sounds, it's basically the memory is activated, but it's activated to go, to leave. Okay, so of course you are assisted, and you have somebody there that takes you through the process and supports you and holds space for you. So it's a beautiful process. So this is one way to really release, and you release what you are ready to release. It's not like you're going to go in a place where it's too much and you cannot handle it. So
Mhm.
every person is going to release and let go of whatever they're ready to. So that's why it's also very important when you are a doula to talk with your pregnant woman and ask them about their birth experience. So if you are pregnant, ask your mother to tell you as much as she can remember about your birth. And sometimes they say, oh, it was natural. Okay, tell me more. How did it feel? How did you feel? How long did it take? More you have details of the process, you know, more, I mean, it's important information for the doula because she's going to know more about you and how to support you, you know. And it's very important. I mean, I can tell you about one story where the woman told me that at the end of when the baby was about to be born, the end of the process of birthing, the mother got some anesthesia. I mean, she was out. But it was really at the end with the push, right?
Mm.
So I knew that, thank God, because she was having an amazing process through the contractions. She was really, really opening up, and I always tell them, the closer you get to birth, the closer you get to the orgasm. So, open yourself up for the most amazing experience of your life. So she was really, really like opening up and going with the contraction as if she was making love. It was so beautiful. I wish I had a video of that. And then when the baby was ready to come out, we were going into push. She fell asleep.
Ah,
Like she
wow.
disconnect, like out. completely fell asleep. And the OBGYN came into the room and he said, "Oh my God, what happened to her? What's going on?" And I said, "Don't worry, she's asleep. That's the memory she has of her birth. She's
Yeah.
repeating the story." And I told him that's all there is. So, we're going to have to help her through the pushes to bring the baby out with our hands and whatever. And so every push, we would be there with her because she was not doing anything. But she kind of
She slept through the pushing altogether?
she was asleep. So when the push was coming, she would wake up and go like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." But we had to help her bring the baby, through the push. And everything was fine. And then when the baby was born, she woke up.
Amazing.
So yeah, that was an amazing situation. So it's just to mention, if when you talk with your doula, or yourself, like talk with your mother, try to find as much as possible the details, her memories, her feelings, how what was it for her? Was she afraid to become a mother? Was she happy? Was she ready? How did she feel? Because like you said, thoughts, emotions are carried by the waters. So that's how rebirthing can help release whatever you're ready to release. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do my 10 sessions or 11 sessions of rebirthing and I'm going to have the best birth ever, because I'm going to be clear. Everybody has their own, path, their own rhythm. They're ready for some things and not for others because it's too intense. So there's no pushing, but it's amazing because, like I remember this woman, she did all her sessions of rebirthing. And during the whole process of giving birth, she was just sitting down in meditation, eyes closed the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, she didn't move. She, like, her belly was doing whatever, the process was just happening. And she was totally, kind of in the void, super connected to the point. And because I'm in the room with her, I mean, it was like the baby, me, there was like such a connection. There was
Mm.
no emotions interfering or resistance or fears, nothing in the way. So everything was very clear. The field was
Mm.
very clear. And suddenly I told her, okay, you need to get up. You need to get up. You need to get your clothes off. And I took her up, helped her take her clothes on, and she was standing up, and I saw the head of the baby coming out. So I just said, "Hey, open, open your legs," and zoom, the baby came out. And it's amazing because again, the OBGYN who just came into the room and saw, but he didn't know the whole story. He came into the room and he's like, "What are you doing? You didn't even put anything in the floor, and the blood is gonna stain the the, the rag." And I'm like, "Hey, this just happened. Can you please help me here?" And we talk about that later. I mean, it was like rude of, or oh yes, I think even I saw that and I was gonna call the OBGYN, and I heard the baby saying, screaming at me, "It's you! You are grabbing me, you know, you are grabbing me. Get ready to, you are the one grabbing me." So I'm like, okay, and he came in and the whole story and the whole drama. But I heard the baby. I mean, so there was a whole, like, a clear, empty field. And so the communication was quite, I mean, for me, it was Quite an amazing experience, I have to say. Beautiful. So
Incredible. Thank you for explaining rebirthing.
yes, 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 yes. So that's what she did, and it worked for her. And maybe it's not what going to be the best for everybody, but that's one modality. You may use other modalities like I love QHHT, it's like quantum hypnosis therapy, because also it brings you back to your own stories and traumas and everything. So you never know which one is going to be the one that works better for you and how much you're going to be able to clear. And whatever you clear, thank God for that. And if you don't clear everything, it's also fine. And knowing your own story of your own birth is going to give, a frame of reference uh, for you, also for the doula. And there's one thing also I want to add to that. If your partner is going to be involved in the birth, he is bringing in also his own memories, because this is energy, like you said, it's all energy. And so if he's in the room and he had a traumatic birth and everything, that energy would be there. So it's both of whoever is going to be there, both of you, it's good to clear the birth stories and memories, and cell memories and all of that around birth. It's good to know, like he can also ask his mother about his birth, so we know which energies we are dealing with. So around conception, yes, the more we are ready and cleared of all of that, all those memories cleared, or the fears, or, also thinking about the lineage. Yes, the lineage. If you have a lineage of stories around birth and fears and, dead babies or whatever, it's good to clear all of that. Also, everything that is related to sexuality, how religion can turn everything related to sexuality into something bad, or I remember in Venezuela when I went to the hospital. I mean, women would go to the hospital to give birth, and they were like having pain or contractions. And what they heard from the nurse or whatever people around was like, huh, you were not crying when you were making love, but like, it's like you did it to yourself, it's like a bad thing. And so that affects conception, that affects birth, because if it's bad, you want to stop it, you want to
Right.
close the doors. Uh,
Mhm.
and if you feel guilty because you got pregnant because you had sex, and that's, guilt is the lowest ever, like shame is the lowest bad. Guilt is such a lowest frequency. So yes, I'm glad we're talking about that, because whatever is around shame and guilt needs to be clear. You are a sacred, divine creation, choosing to be a channel to bring to the world an amazing soul that is coming into incarnation and choosing you to come into incarnation for a specific purpose, to bring the beautiful and divine energy into this planet and co-create in these times, in this era, to co-create the new earth. So those souls that are coming right now are coming with the highest frequency, with the highest vibration of pure unconditional love, without any karma, The only purpose is coming to bring this beautiful, divine love, joy, light, ability to create and co-create the beauty in joy. It's all beauty, it's all joy, it's all the ecstasy of co-creation. So when we conceive in ecstasy of co-creation.
And so, do you think to conceive these very special, high vibrational children, the womb and the mother herself must also be very high, at a very high frequency, to be able to hold the frequency of the child within
Yeah,
her?
that's a good point. That's a good point. And what is it to be in high frequency? It is about love. And that's why usually you conceive with the person you are in love with. Because when you are in love, being in love, God created the falling in love thing for that reason, because it's a way to come back to that ecstasy, that divine ecstasy. And it's the beginning of my book. In the beginning was the word, meaning the thought, the intention, the word, which is the creator, because the intention creates the reality. So in the beginning was the word was with God, the word was God. And before the big and the so in the beginning was the one, which is also the creator, the phallus, the male organ is the one. And before the beginning was the zero. The zero is the void, the cosmic womb. And the zero included the one. So the zero, the void, is in many cultures, they say there's no name to it, is everything before the beginning, and this cosmic womb with all the possibilities of creation. And that was the divine, or whatever you want to call it, because there's no name, because name is a concept already, decided to separate from himself, to explore himself, to get to know himself, to create. So that's when the one, the word, the sound, the thought, the intention came out of the zero, the void, and then creativity was possible. And every act of creation is an act of love. It's an explosion of light. It's ecstasy. So that's how we are, male and female, we get together, we fall in love because we want to be as close as possible to divine love. And I feel like that's why the divine did it this way. Everything is made in such a divine wisdom, everything.
Perfect design.
So yeah, every creation is an explosion of light, ecstasy, orgasm, bliss. It's going back to the light. And that's why Tantra is the oldest religion in the world, because that's what Tantra is about being able to use your sexual energy. Because what is the sexual energy? Is the chi, is the life force, is it's in your kundalini, but you can awaken it and start moving it all the way up to your crown chakra, where it becomes pure light. it explodes in pure light. So there's a lot, that would be another video and another whole conversation,
Yeah,
the initiations in Egypt, uh, Mary and Mary Magdalene were through, but we can do a video on that with you because you know a lot.
I love it.
So right now, what the point is that for conception is good to be in a clear, like have cleared your field from stories, karmic stories, all the personal trauma, birth trauma, the lineage stories, all of that and more now than ever because we are in this era where we're bringing in such high level souls, and like you said, the more we are in that frequency, the closer we are to that frequency, the better we're going to be able to be a channel for this beings to come. And yeah, it's amazing how, because it's the two frequencies, yours and the one of the baby, are going to be sharing the space, maybe that being, not only physically, but in the aura, you're going to be sharing. And it's amazing. I mean, I had two pregnancies and they were so, 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 so different because the two beings that were coming were so, so, so different. It's insane. And so I was holding the frequency of each one of them, and I felt like a completely different person with the first one and the second one. With the first one, I was levitating. Literally, people were telling me, "Wow, you're not even touching the floor. Like what? What's?" Some people said, "Did you eat some mushrooms or what?" It's like I'm pregnant. It's like with the second one, felt like I had 4 feet in the floor connected to the planet Earth. Like I was like, boom, boom, boom. And you can see them. I mean, you know them.
Yeah, yes, that sounds like their personality. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. I was telling people with the second one, do I look like that big and like that strong? And they were like, no, you look like yourself. It's so funny, huh? So we're sharing the space. So if the frequency, like you were asking, the frequency of this being is coming with this like high frequency, and you are clear, your own field is clear, then you can hold space for that beautiful frequency. You're more available, basically.
And how is that going to affect in the first trimester feelings of nausea,
That's a
perhaps?
very important point, and yeah, that's where we were going. So nausea is not a funny part of it. Basically happening, number one, because we are getting all these hormones activating, no? And the hormones like what was HCG.
HCG, HCG and estrogen.
Yeah. So doing like we were creating, we need a lot of hormones at the beginning, mostly in the week 5 and 6. And usually that's when you discover that you are pregnant, week 5, 6 is typical, unless you have such a connection that you can say, like I know that Anael was conceived on April 20th. I know that, April 20th, 1978, But if you don't know, uh, this is like when you get to check yourself. Oh my God, let me check if I am pregnant.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think this is why most doctors believe that nausea is a good sign that you're placenta is developing properly and the pregnancy will proceed to the third trimester because the HCG hormone is right in alignment with
The
what was I going to
development
say?
of the
The
placenta.
development of the placenta and the morning sickness. The
Mhm.
morning sickness peaks as the HCG peaks. So they think they're correlated.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now, some women never have nausea and they are absolutely having a normal pregnancy because there's
Right.
not a sensitivity. We are differently sensitive, and also you know, hormones are give work to the liver. The liver has to handle that. So for some women, it's really tough on the liver. And usually, when you have a liver problem, you have nausea. So you have
Mm.
to think about but everything has a reason to be. If you have problems with, and it's 11:11 here, wow. Everything is perfect. The liver is overworking when there's more hormones. It's part of the process. And you need to sleep more, you need to rest more, you need to slow down, and it all has a reason to be in the first trimester. And this amazing French OBGYN, his name is Dr. Hugues Rennes. He talks about the different parts of the pregnancy, and he says that the first trimester is about slowing down, going inward, and checking your past. It's related to the past. So it's very important that you listen to your body. Because if you fight it, it's not going to make it easier.
Right.
It's going to drain you down. It's not going to help. The best way, the best thing you can do is slow down, sleep as much as you can, rest as much as you can, be with yourself as much as possible, and also share your stories with your partner. And his stories, your stories, whatever is there. And then we can clear the past, we can heal the past. That is the role of the first trimester, where there's so much going on inside of your belly, because that's when the fetus is doing the whole process. And that period of the first trimester also, from conception, it's like conception is the first birth. You are being born in the moment of conception. And from the moment of conception, where you are one cell and you become two cells, and then four, and then eight, you're gonna go in that process until you become a fetus with, your hands and fingers and eyes and everything. That process is going to take you through the history of life on the planet, the whole history.
That's so true. That's so interesting because in biology and physiology, the history of physiology, if you look at an embryo, it goes through all the different stages and looks like every different animal kingdom.
Yes.
It looks like it'll look like a worm, it'll look like a chicken, it'll look like a fish, like all the different animals all through that process
Yeah.
until it starts looking like a human.
Yeah. You think about the development of life on the planet, it started with unicells beings. So we go through the whole process, and he even goes to say, we go through the mineral uh, state of being and all the states of being. So that's a lot of, that's millions of years of development of, biology, like you said. So this is what's going inside for the baby. The baby is remembering because it's part of like, you're going to come to the planet. You need all that information. So the baby is going in the belly through all of that. It's gigantic. It's going physically through the whole development. That's a gigantic process. It's happening inside of you, inside of your body. Your body is involved in the process. Your body is developing the placenta. Your body is feeding the fetus. Your body is very creating all the structures for this to happen. That's a lot of cells at work inside. You don't need to be outside doing more. You know what I mean? You have a lot going on inside. So perfect. Let's stay inside. Let that happen. Support that process for yourself and for the baby. And then it's an opportunity to be with yourself, to go through your stories, to clear your stories, to do maybe forgiveness, processes of forgiveness, clearing the past, clearing the story, sharing with your partner, because that creates more intimacy also, because you plus the other one make a whole that is that baby. And the more you have shared and the more you have cleared and the more you know each other, the more you know the baby that is coming. You have those first 3 months, that is your priority. The nausea sometimes is very intense. I mean, for me, hormonal changes are very intense. I have a hard time handling that. Maybe my liver has a hard time. And one thing that personally helped me a lot was homeopathy.
Homeopathy.
Yes.
Okay.
It's really, really worth it to do the work. That is a beautiful work. And
And to avoid anything to end or avoid the nausea is so helpful because that's probably the hardest part. That was the hardest part for me.
oh, for me too. For me too. With the second baby, I was basically laying down and the son was going around, thank God it was in Venezuela, it's hot, so I wouldn't dress him. And, I was not able to do much I was not able to do much. But then I went to see the homeopath and life-changing, taking homeopathy. And then, of course, so by the time I got into the second trimester, I was so present and so grounded and so full of energy, So, yeah.
Amazing.
And the good thing about homeopathy is because we are all different and we are all unique. A homeopath is going to give you exactly what you need. You being you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why I love homeopathy, because it's not the same thing for everybody. If anybody has any question, please contact us and we'll do our best to support you or answer your questions. And I love questions because sometimes I just make a new video out of the question. So yes, questions are absolutely welcome, comments, insights, sharing your own experience, anything that can help women in general. We are here to share as women our experiences so we can inform other women and be support for other women.
Absolutely. And this video is the first of the water element.
Yes.
And we've probably had about 2 more, I think.
Yes. Yes.
And this part of the elemental collection or series. So we'll have fire, water, earth, air.
And the no
Earth.
element, which is, I call it ether, you can call it the void, whatever, but it's like the no element. Yes, exactly. So it's 5 elements. We go from water to earth to fire to ether to air. So see you in the next water video to cover another
Yes.
aspect of what water is all about, because it's a lot to talk about. Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm hoping we can talk about water birth in that one.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Oh, we're going to touch that in one of the videos for sure. Yeah. So thank you, Anita, for sharing this. I mean, it's fantastic because we are 2 different generations, and with our experiences, we are both mothers also, and we are all learning from each other, because here it's about our experience. It's about the real things, not like information, just information. It's like multidimensional information, because we had it in our body, we lived through it, and we had so many experiences. So thank you, everybody. I hope it helps. If you like this video, please click like or subscribe to the channel to keep in touch and get more information on the next video.